So, buenas and half a day, and welcome to the Women Rising podcast brought to you by KUAM Podcast Network in partnership with the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. I'm Samantha Taitano, and I have the absolute honor of being here today with two remarkable women who, throughout the different stages in life, found unmet needs within the community and developed businesses to help meet those needs. I'm so happy to welcome two of my really good friends, actually. Lonnie Tamandong, she is the owner of TGT Guam, and Gianna Pengalina Menglotnya, who is the owner of Guam Baby Co. and Accounting Management Solutions. So welcome, ladies, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So today we would like to explore what your journey was kind of coming into entrepreneurship, what kind of motivated you and inspired you. So I'll let either one of you guys start to tell us a little bit about your story.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so my journey into entrepreneurship really was kind of just to really get into the childcare industry and create a higher quality care. I was working in childcare when my first son was born, and I wanted to be closer to him. So I kind of left my job and went to work in the childcare he was going to. And that's when I saw that there was a need for maybe a higher quality program. And I went back to school. I got my, I took a early childhood education, got my degree there, and decided later that, I wanted to pursue more and create a program that was a higher quality program for childcare. And that's how I got into the daycare business. That son of mine is turning 17 this month, so it's been quite the journey. But TGT Guam LLC, it is the Giving Tree Preschool Centers, and it's also Helping Hands Adult Daycare. So I got into the senior care of things about 4 years ago, when I did see that there was a need for adult daycare on Guam. We are the only private adult daycare on Guam, and that kind of came out of a need. We were taking care of, me and my husband are taking care of our elderly parents, and we are also raising our young children. So we kind of wanted to have a place where they can be during the day, where we wouldn't have to worry if they had had a hot meal, or if they fell down, they would have assistance there right away. A lot of the times our parents, they're still very much, or want to be very much independent, and we don't want to, treat them like we need to be around all the time. But we did see that a lot of the times they still needed help, or at least supervision for some of their daily tasks and their daily activities.
Yes, and so May is Manunku month, and so it's really nice to highlight that as well. But also, I know that you recently opened a intergenerational daycare. If you can share a little bit about that.
Yes. So last year we did start the journey into the intergenerational daycare, which is located in Barrigada. Our idea was to have our preschool center right beside our adult daycare center. And so they have their own separate quarters, but we did develop or create a shared quarters where we would have our senior participants and our children come together maybe once or twice a day during programs to celebrate birthdays, celebrate holidays together, to do arts and crafts together, or just story time, just kind of have those few, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour in the day, to kind of get together and just be around each other. So, I have children, and I also have my grandmother who's still with us, and my children spend a lot of time with her when they could. But when we're busy with work and school and all that stuff, we don't get a lot of time the way we did growing up with our grandparents. So this was one of the ways as well that I would have my children be able to spend more time with my grandmother, their great-grandmother, and without my grandmother feeling that she would have to, or she wasn't fast enough to run after them if they were getting into some kind of trouble, or that she wasn't able to provide with them meals. So they would be in a care setting where they would have teachers and caregivers there, and they would take care of all that stuff, and they could just concentrate on spending time together and just being able to be companions and grandma and their, we call it grand friends at the daycare center. So,
So cute.
when we want to put together the program, it's like, okay, it's going to be grand friends time where we have our grand friends come over for a little and spend some time with them. So the need for care for our elderly on Guam, it's huge. I mean, we are in the aging population where we have a lot of parents and grandparents that are all aging right now, and there just isn't enough facilities and there isn't any real resources for them. And so a lot of the time we find that we have to leave them at home, and maybe we have to call on them and check on them. Or I know some people even put up cameras and they're, checking in on them there. But we kind of want to still make sure that they're enjoying their golden years and that they're very much still part of our lives. And so creating the intergenerational daycare, I think, takes care of some of those challenges that we're facing.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful thing because I know there's also been a lot of studies that show the positive impacts that it has for both the kids and the grandparents, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
lots of positive.
Lots of positive impacts, the socializing and everything, but also, like you mentioned, having your children the opportunity to spend time with their great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an amazing experience. And so, Gianna, I know that you also started a business after having a child as well. So if you can kind of dive into your journey.
Yeah, so I went to school to be an accountant, and that's what I was doing when I first had Mara. But I mean, for this, so many things kind of happened. It was like we were mid-COVID, and so she was going to daycare. But I don't know, I'm sure any slightest sniffle, any slightest whatever, she couldn't attend because we want to keep all the kids safe, right? And so, I don't know, daycares, they kind of get sick a lot. So I'm constantly out having to take care of her. And it's either I stay home or Dean stays home. And it was just getting a little bit difficult for us. And then at the same time, my pump broke. And so weird. So like my mom, the Guam Baby Co is really my mom's idea that I just kind of took off with. But my pump broke and there was nowhere on island for me to get replacement parts. Actually, there was nowhere on island at the time to buy any sort of baby products that were like high quality type things. And so from that, she was like, well, if you're having this issue, can you imagine how many other people are having the same issue? But I was like, Mom, I have a full-time job. Like, I can't just do that. And so it started off as an online only, and we did pickups at the Guam Museum. And then slowly but surely, with getting sick and having to take out, and then the popularity of Guam Baby Co rising, it was the perfect time to just really go on my own and see what Guam Baby Co could be. So yeah, it's life happens, and I kind of just rolled with the punches, and it came out to this.
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of a beautiful story for both of you. You guys both kind of started this motherhood journey, and you wanting to make sure that there was a high quality daycare services, and then you realizing that high quality products for mothers and children were something that were really lacking on the island. And so it gave you guys both this kind of great opportunity. As we know with life, there's always ups and downs. So business always has its ups and downs as well. So I guess I wanted to, if you would be willing to share any of the challenges that you may have faced, both kind of like in business, but also balancing business and raising a family at the same time.
Okay. So I have 5 kids. My oldest is going to be 17. My youngest is 2. She'll be 3. So I definitely have a full house, full heart, hands full, everything's full. So I kind of already accepted the fact that, well, there's no real balance, you know. Um, I've always felt that being a mother or motherhood has, instead of made my entrepreneur journey a little more difficult, it's actually enhanced it. Only because being a mom in childcare, I could really be empathetic and use that I'm a mom discretion with things I do as an owner of a childcare center. And so that's really helped me along the way is that, well, I'm a mom and this is what I would want for my child. And I want what's best for my child. So where there is, let's say, something that was kind of out of our policy, and instead of being like, well, this is a policy, and we stick to the policy, I'm like, well, I'm a mom, and I know that these things happen, and so, I could use that to really like just say, hey, you know what, it's fine this time. I get it. Life happens. We're moms, and I know how it is. In other areas, it's like I'm a mom, so I know how to uh, be a leader to employees who are also moms without them feeling like, well, I don't want to have to call in or tell my boss that I have this and that coming up. And all my employees know this, that family is like priority all the time. And I tell them that at the end of the day, it's not the job that I want you to think is up there. It's your children, it's your family, it's what you're coming home to. So it's very important. And I think that being a mom has enhanced and allowed me to really provide a higher quality program in the Giving Tree. And so I never think of it as, well, it's a balance. I kind of integrated it already by now. It's like the Giving Tree and my home life and everything. It's all just my life. I don't really, people will be like, separate work from your home, separate this from, but it doesn't really go that way when you own a business that's so much a part of who you are, because you put a lot of your beliefs and your morals and your values into it. So my day goes that I drop the kids to school, and then I'm at work doing the work stuff. And when it's time to pick up the kids from school, that's it. That's the rest of my day. I'm off at 2:00 because I'm getting the kids, and it's all kids after that. And it's worked out that way. And I always make sure that with my employees and with our families, I always put that in the top of my mind that the important stuff is the kids. That's children are our business in both work and at home. It's like that's important stuff. So just never lose sight of that. And I think motherhood is a plus in my entrepreneur journey. It's like, yes, I got to be a mother, so I kind of have this idea of how to run everything else, and it kind of just adds to it. And when we sit at home at the dinner table with my children, they'll be like, Mom, this and that, and oh, we're so proud of you. And Mom, do you know that so and so said that their sister or brother goes to the Giving Tree, and so we talk about it. And they ask a lot of the time, like, when did you start the Giving Tree? And when they were younger, they wouldn't really care. They would go to daycare. They wouldn't even care. Like, they didn't know that I was the owner until they got a little older, and they're like, wait, do you work here? Or is this? And so it kind of grew with that. But a little background of the Giving Tree is the Giving Tree is named after my first child's favorite storybook, right? So everything about it, like, I was a first-time mom, and I was like, I want to give him the best childhood experience when it comes to childcare. I don't want it to be where he's just like, oh, my mom's leaving me here and I'm scared, and we're just sitting around all day being babysat, or and a lot of times they may be going through separation anxiety and not able to adjust well. And so I really put a lot of heart into thinking, how can I make this fun and comfortable for not just the child, but for the parents? How can I make this experience overall enjoyable for everyone, for the teachers, the parents, the children? We just have to make it a place where they like to be, and a place where they drop their child off and they know that, hey, these teachers, they love my kid too. They're going to keep him or her safe, and they're going to keep me involved and as a partner in this whole journey from the start to the finish. And that's where the Giving Tree and our whole partnership with our families kind of like took off. It's like we want to make sure that when they drop off their child, we're going to be letting you know throughout the day through our app and everything. This is what so-and-so is learning. This is what she sang today. This is how much food she had today. This is how many bowel movements, or, if she had an incident or everything, you're gonna know before coming and picking her up today. So you're kind of a part of the journey.
Those apps are my favorite. I love all the pictures you get and then like seeing them. Oh God, I love that there's apps now.
Wow, it's such a beautiful story about kind of how you've integrated everything, business and family. And then I love that your kids are like, wait, do you work here?
Yeah, so that's happened. I mean, it's happening right now with my 5-year-old. He's just realizing like, wait, so this is your school? Like he went off to school and I'm still, going to the Giving Tree. He's not there. And he's like, this is your school? And then we'll go to another location. And he's like, this is your school too? So it is kind of like, as they get older, they start understanding more and more that we're running a business, we're small business owners. But the best part about it is that we have the time to spend with our family. And I remember telling my husband, I was working at the bank before opening up my first daycare center. And I remember telling him like, this 9 to 5, and then we're missing soccer games, or we're missing so-and-so school thing. It just didn't sit right with me. And I remember telling him, and he was working as well. He was working in the government and he had a great job, that started us off and everything. And it was very comfortable. But after we opened our second location, I was like, I'm going to ask you to resign. And he was like, what? He was like, I don't know. Are we ready for that? And I was like, I think we are, because we opened our first location. We had a wait list where we had such great feedback. It was running well. Opened our second location, same thing. But I did see that, whereas I had all the freedom to be present for my children, he didn't. He had 12-hour shifts. And a lot of it would be me sending pictures throughout the day. And I was like, I want Dad to experience the same thing that I'm experiencing it in real time. And I think that we can, partner together and be able to do that and be present for our children. And so he did end up leaving his job, and we've been running it together for 9 years now. And it's worked out. Of course, just like any other small business owners, you have some challenges here and there. But for the most part, I think we have really learned to do the thing.
To do the thing and to do the thing together.
Yeah.
So Gianna, I would love to hear a little bit more about, your kind of challenges that you've had, navigating. I mean, obviously starting a business during COVID. Now that we're out of COVID, you've gone to a brick and mortar, and then, also kind of talking a little bit about how motherhood has affected you as a businesswoman.
I agree with Lonnie. Work and home life is one and the same. If you've stopped by Guam Baby Co. on a holiday or a weekend, you might have seen Amara in her Guam Baby Co. shirt working the register. She loves to do that. Or you've seen her on Instagram. So I try to keep her involved with everything. I like that she sees hard work in action. And I hope that that's something that she'll keep forever. But challenges, of course, right now, the tariffs are really, the scare of the tariffs are really kind of affecting us. And I don't like to really get political or anything, but like a lot of our brands at the moment, they're raising prices nationwide. So if you've ever, our prices are generally Amazon, like their base price. It was very important to me starting that we weren't going to like jack up prices. I really felt like people on Guam deserve to get the good quality things at the right price. And so with that, it's been a challenge because I want to keep prices low, but the vendor, the brands, they're forced to shift. And so right now we're in a pivot kind of time. So that I think that's been our biggest struggle, is to keep things reasonable for our community. And you know, shipping to Guam is one of our biggest hassles. I think I have mastered how to explain shipping to Guam. So like sometimes I have a whole spiel. It's like a standard response to how to explain how to ship to Guam, or how to get things to us, just because a lot of times people just, one, don't know about Guam, or they just don't know that we have these abilities. And so I think that's a big part of what I do for Guam Baby Co. is explain where we are and how things get here. So that's been our biggest challenge. But we've obviously succeeded because we've had like amazing stroller and gear brands like Nuna and Appa Baby. That took us a little bit of time, but you know, perseverance. So yeah, that's our biggest thing. But in terms of being a mom and a business owner, I think like I'm sure you could speak to this, but multitasking and having to like do so many things for yourself, for your kid, like I think I've mastered the mental load. I mean, because you know, it's like, okay, I have to remember that Mara has a red and white she says festivals for school, or she has to wear something for this and bring this tomorrow. And then I have to remember that, oh, I have a team meeting, and oh, have to make sure that this and this. So I think it's helped me like with my multitasking.
Do you have a productivity tool that you use that you can recommend?
Well, you know, God, that's such a great question. Because for me, that's always like a work in progress. Last week, I started implementing an inbox zero, which, oh my God, I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. But essentially, I've cleared out my inbox. I have tagged and categorized all emails so that every morning I take 15 minutes per business, and I have so I have like a to-do, review, follow up, reply, and delegate. So every morning, take 15 minutes, no big deal. I like put what vendor or what client, or whether I need to do an action, it requires an action of me, or it requires me to just read. And then when it comes time for me to like sit down and do work, it's already so organized within my folders. So I'm like, okay, 30 minutes, reply to all these emails that just need a reply. And then an hour, I'm gonna work on all the things that need to be done. And then I'm not scrolling through emails. So that's very new, and I'm loving it. Other than that, our team, we use, so I love technology and I love apps. We use ClickUp, and that's how we all kind of communicate on each project. I mean, even down to like social media with our social media girl, shout out to Tassi. Like we plan everything, and it just makes it so much easier. Like if it's not on my calendar, it's not real, you know, all of that jazz.
I know exactly what you mean. This was definitely on my calendar so that I would not miss it. Okay, well, I just wanted to do just like a quick kind of, what is your latest win?
If you know yours, go ahead.
Yeah, it can be like life,
Actually,
motherhood win. It can be business win. It can be a combination of the both.
I just feel like I've been winning a lot.
You're like, I can't just limit it to one.
I just wanted to, put this out here because, so May is Mother's Day, and then they had the senior month. But we actually just had a resolution made for the first week of May to be Childcare Provider Week. So that was a big win because, I mean, they have the teachers' appreciation that we always go by. And it's like we're just kind of piggybacking on the teachers. And a lot of the times, like our childcare workers, they would go and try to take advantage of all these like, free drinks or discounts for teachers. But they don't have the DOE or a real teacher card. And then they're like turned away. And I'm like, what is it with, it not being recognized that child care workers and teachers are like the absolute like they are the foundation teachers. They are so important. And I just couldn't believe that it's been this long and there wasn't anything to recognize that, especially with all the hard work. I mean, we're watching the workforce's children. The reason why there are jobs everywhere else is because there's somewhere safe that they're putting their kids, and it's in childcare. So, me and my partner that got that all together rolling, we were able to get a resolution, and then there will be a proclamation later on this month as well, looking into, the governor proclaiming it as Child Care Provider Week. So I'm excited about that. I think that's definitely a win for the industry to be recognized every year. I mean, we recognize them every day, but it's just so great that there's something like that. We also did, like, a personal win is, so in childcare, with childcare law here, in order to be working in the daycare centers, you need to have a certain amount of hours, training hours, and professional development every month, or every year. And we try to give it, monthly, just so that our employees have that continued support of professional development. But we don't have a training center on Guam for early childhood providers. So we did open GECA, Guam Early Childhood and Caregivers Academy. And so it is Guam's newest and only training center for childcare workers, which we have February, we're talking about it. And then end of April, we're doing our soft opening. So it's been great. I have a great team. And I just want to put that out there that a lot of my wins, they are not mine alone. I have such a great team. I have the best support in my husband. And then my employees, they really are the greatest. I'm a strong believer in delegation. So I know that I can't do everything, and I know that I'm not the best at everything, but I do know that I could find someone on our team that really is the best at that, or really can do this, and trust them and give them the opportunity to really make it what it is. And we've been really able to get far and achieve so much based on that. So those are a few wins. Other wins are just that I get to spend a lot of time with my children. And that's a win that I'm just always so thankful for. Like, my kids are very active in school and outside of school. And whenever I'm just able to bring them to all these rehearsals and recitals and games and be a part of it, I'm not going to lie, I still get pinch me moments. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's going to be 16 or 17. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that he's in violin. Oh my gosh. Like, I get a lot of oh my gosh moments where I'm like, my husband's probably like, because I'm like, oh my gosh, could you believe this? Could you believe this? And it's really just all the things going on in our kids' lives. But I'm just so happy that I'm so present in the moment. And I just think that that's like the biggest win of all, is how present I can be in my kids' lives.
Definitely. Gianna?
My biggest win has nothing to do with work, but my daughter loves when we read at night. And just last week or 2 weeks ago, she started reading. And now she's like reading little stories. So I love that. It's like huge. So yeah,
Yay.
Has nothing to do with work.
And that's okay.
Yeah, like what you said, I do love that I get to be present. So it's kind of like a perpetual win, as you know, I have the time to take her to dance, to take her to gymnastics, and I get time to be really present as a mom. And I think that's like the best thing ever.
It really is. I mean, yeah, it really is.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your stories, your wisdom, for everything that you guys both do for the community. It's been so wonderful having you on today. So thank you, and join us next month for another empowering episode of Women Rising, where we really get to talk to some inspiring women here in our community who are making big impact while running their businesses. Thank you.
Hafa I'm Rachel Davis, Executive Director of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, and thank you so much for joining us for this powerful episode of Women Rising. As we honor the month of May, celebrating our working moms, our manamku, and the women who have come before us, we're reminded of the incredible strength it takes to nurture both families and futures. Whether you're a mother, a mentor, or a businesswoman, or someone still finding her path, your role matters. You're part of a larger legacy. And when we invest in care, childcare, elder care, self-care, we build stronger businesses, stronger families, and a more sustainable island community. Our featured voices today, like Melani Tumandang and Gianna Pangilinan, are living proof of how women-led innovation and compassion shape the region in lasting ways. And as a chamber, we're proud to continue amplifying voices like theirs and yours. This is just the beginning. Stay with us each episode as we rise together, sharing stories, wisdoms, and the vision for a Guam where women thrive in every stage of life and leadership. From all of us at the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, keep rising, keep shining. When women rise, our entire island rises with us. Si Zeus Maasi, and we'll see you next time on Women Rising.
Women Rising on the KUAM Podcast Network is produced by the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. Learn more about the GWCC by visiting their website, www.guamwomenschamber.com, or any of their social media accounts. Join us next month for another episode.